Imagine being able to remain calm even when everything around you is falling apart, that nothing and no one has the power to pull you out of your center, that instead of reacting with anger, anxiety, or distress, your mind responds with clarity, temperance, and firmness. It is not about becoming insensitive, it is about becoming invincible within. To have the ability to face any situation, no matter how difficult, without losing yourself in the process. The Stoics understood this well. Calm is not a state that comes by luck. It is a skill, a practice, a decision that you make before life tests you. This video is designed to give you that training, not with empty phrases or generic advice, but with 10 real tools you can apply daily, in an argument, in a stressful moment, in any situation where before you would have lost control. But before we begin, I want to invite you to make a commitment with yourself. Scroll down to the comments and write, "From today, I choose my calm as my highest priority." This isn't just a message, it's a contract with yourself, a declaration that you will no longer give away your serenity to any trivial provocation. Writing it is taking action. It's committing yourself, truly, to start this training with intention. Have you done it? Good. Now let's begin. Lesson 1. Not everything deserves your energy. Learn to protect your peace. Every time you react with anger, get carried away by unnecessary arguments, or obsess over repetitive thoughts that lead nowhere, you pay a price. And that price is your peace. Your mental energy is not infinite. It's like a bank account. Each worry, each emotional outburst, each repetitive thought is a withdrawal. And if you don't protect that balance, one day you wake up drained, irritable, and unclear. The Stoics knew this. They didn't react to everything. Instead, they chose where to place their attention, concern, and effort. They knew not everything deserves a response, and not everything deserves your energy. Imagine scrolling on social media and seeing a rude, baseless comment. Your first impulse, reply, defend yourself, prove you're right. But then ask yourself, does this change anything? Does it make me better? Is it worth sacrificing my tranquility? It's not about being indifferent. It's about developing an inner radar that says, I don't need this. This doesn't help me. I let it go. Saving your peace is not selfish, it's intelligence. Next time something irritates you, ask, does this deserve my energy? Or should I save it for something that truly matters? Respond less, observe more, let go faster. You'll notice your mind becoming lighter, more focused, and freer. Lesson 2. Rewrite your inner dialogue before it sabotages you. The most dangerous enemy is not outside, it's inside. It's not what others say to you, but what you say to yourself after hearing them. Every time you tell yourself, I can't handle this, I'll lose control, I'm weak, you are programming your mind for collapse. You're rehearsing failure before even trying. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who faced wars, betrayal, and illness, filled his personal notes with reminders, not for others, but for himself. Why? Because he knew the mind is forgetful and easily corrupted by negative talk. Writing down his inner dialogue was his way of correcting it, of training himself not to give in to despair. Seneca also said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality, and that imagination is fed by the words we repeat in our heads. Here's a simple example. If you say, this problem is unbearable, your body reacts with stress, fear, and paralysis. But if you say, this is difficult, but I've endured worse, your body reacts with calm, strength, and readiness. Your inner dialogue is the lens through which you see reality. Change the lens, and you change the way you experience life. Practical exercise. The next time you feel overwhelmed, stop and write down what you're telling yourself. Then ask, if I were advising a friend, would I say this to them? If not, rewrite it. Replace self-sabotage with guidance. For example, from I'm losing control to I can pause and breathe and control will return. From "I'll never manage this" to "step by step I'll get through." Do this repeatedly, and your inner voice stops being an enemy and becomes your ally, because the words you feed your mind determine whether you panic or remain calm. Lesson 3. Replace. Why is this happening to me with "what can I do now?" One of the fastest ways to lose your calm is to ask the wrong question. When something goes wrong, most people immediately think, "Why me? Why now? Why is this happening to me?" That question locks you into victimhood. It makes you believe life has singled you out unfairly, and it drains your energy in complaints instead of action. The Stoics never wasted time asking, "Why me?" Instead, they asked, "What can I do now?" Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Notice the shift. The question isn't about the past or blame, but about present action. Imagine you lose a business deal. If you stay stuck in "why me?" you drown in frustration. But if you ask, "What can I do now?" you focus on solutions, learning from mistakes, finding alternatives, or simply moving forward with more wisdom. Seneca reminded us, "Fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling." Asking why makes you the unwilling. It drags you. Asking what now makes you the willing. You walk with destiny. Practical exercise. Next time you face a setback, pause and reframe your question. Out loud say, not "Why is this happening to me?" but "What can I do now with what I have from where I am?" This one question redirects your mind from victimhood to agency, from complaint to clarity. Because serenity is not found in endless explanations, it is found in decisive action. Lesson 4. Don't argue. The ego only wants the last word. Think about the last time you lost your calm in an argument. Did it really change the other person's mind? Or did it just leave you drained, replaying the words in your head long after the conversation ended? The Stoics understood that most arguments are not about truth. They are about ego. They are about the desperate need to have the last word, to prove you're right, to avoid the sting of pride. Epictetus said, "You cannot teach a man something he believes he already knows." That means in many discussions, no matter how much logic you bring, the other person isn't listening, they're defending. And if you're honest, you'll see that often. So are you. Marcus Aurelius practiced silence in the face of provocation. He knew that nothing wastes more energy than arguing with someone whose goal isn't understanding, but winning. Here's the truth. You don't have to attend every battle your ego is invited to. Imagine someone insults you. Your ego says, "Defend yourself, prove them wrong." But if you stay silent, if you let the insult pass without reaction, what happens? The fire dies out because you didn't give it oxygen. Practical exercise. The next time you feel the urge to argue, pause and ask, "Do I want peace or do I want to be right?" If the answer is "to be right," recognize that it's your ego speaking. If the answer is peace, then silence, or a calm, brief response, is enough. Seneca reminded us, "It is better to conquer anger than to conquer the enemy." When you refuse to argue, you are not weak. You are strong, because you're not letting your ego dictate your actions. You are choosing peace over pride, and in that choice lies your true freedom. Lesson 5. Turn difficulties into mental training. Life will test you. There is no way around it. The only real choice you have is this. Will you treat challenges as curses or as opportunities to train your character? The Stoics chose the second. For them, every difficulty was not an obstacle, but a gymnasium for the mind. Epictetus, who was born a slave and lived with physical pain all his life, never said, "Poor me, life is unfair." Instead, he saw each hardship as a chance to practice self-control, courage, and wisdom. He turned suffering into training. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself in his meditations, You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. To him, problems weren't interruptions. They were exercises designed to strengthen his soul. Think of it this way. No one builds physical strength without resistance. The weight you push at the gym is the same as the weight of life's trials. Without that resistance, your muscles stay weak. Without difficulties, your character stays fragile. Practical exercise. The next time something irritates you, instead of saying, "Why does this happen to me?" say, "This is my training." If someone insults you, it's training for patience. If plans fail, it's training for resilience. If you face uncertainty, it's training for courage. Seneca put it clearly. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. When you reframe difficulties as training, you stop wasting energy in complaint and start building inner strength. Because life is not against you, it is shaping you. Every trial is a lesson, every obstacle a teacher, and those who embrace difficulties as training become unshakable. Lesson 6. Make silence a habit. Noise surrounds us, arguments, opinions, endless chatter. But the greatest danger is when that noise enters your mind and drowns out your clarity. The Stoics valued silence as a form of discipline, not just the absence of words, but the ability to pause, to hold back impulses, to respond only when wisdom, not emotion, guides the tongue. Epictetus advised his students, "Be mostly silent, or speak only what is necessary, and in few words." He understood that uncontrolled speech is often the fuel that ignites conflict, while silence preserves calm. Marcus Aurelius also practiced this restraint. In his writings, he reminded himself not to get dragged into gossip or empty talk, but to conserve his words for what truly mattered. For him, silence was not weakness, it was strength under control. Think about how many times you've regretted something you said in anger. Now think about how many times you've regretted staying silent. The first list is long, the second, almost empty. Practical exercise. This week, train yourself to make silence a habit. When someone provokes you, breathe before responding. When gossip arises, choose not to participate. When you don't know what to say, let silence speak for you. Seneca said, "Speech is the index of the mind." By guarding your words, you guard your mind. Silence is not emptiness. It is space for reflection. It is the shield that prevents chaos from entering your inner world. The more you practice silence, the more authority your words will carry when you finally choose to speak. Because silence is not absence of power, it is its refinement. Lesson 7. Surround yourself with calm, or conflict will consume you. No matter how strong your mind is, you are constantly shaped by the environment and people around you. If you live surrounded by tension, gossip, and constant arguments, that chaos will eventually seep into your thoughts. Seneca gave very clear advice. Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. He understood that emotions, whether positive or negative, are contagious. Think about it. Spend time with someone who always complains, and soon you'll find yourself complaining too. Spend time with someone who panics at the slightest setback, and your anxiety will grow. But surround yourself with someone who stays calm, who breathes before reacting, who keeps perspective, and you'll begin to imitate that calm almost unconsciously. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning, "You will meet people who are meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. But none of them can harm you if you do not allow it." Notice what he's saying. Prepare yourself. Expect flaws in others, but don't let their unrest contaminate your peace. Practical exercise. Take inventory of your circle. Ask yourself, who consistently brings me calm? Who constantly pulls me into conflict or negativity? How much time and energy am I giving to each group? Then adjust. It doesn't mean cutting people off entirely, but you must learn to set limits. reduce exposure to those who drain you, and deliberately increase exposure to those who uplift you. Because calm is not only an inner discipline, it is also an environment you choose to cultivate. Surround yourself with conflict, and you'll be dragged into battles that aren't yours. Surround yourself with calm, and you'll discover that peace multiplies. Lesson 8. What disturbs you today will be insignificant tomorrow. Think of the last thing that made you lose your calm. An argument, a mistake, a small setback. At the time, it felt enormous, unbearable, even unforgivable. But now, looking back, isn't it true that much of what once disturbed you has lost all importance? The Stoics constantly reminded themselves of this perspective. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Consider how quickly all things are dissolved and resolved. The bodies and the memory of them in time are gone into eternity." What he meant was simple. The worries of today shrink in the vastness of time. Seneca also advised, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." When you magnify today's irritation, you are giving it a weight it will not hold tomorrow. Imagine this. You're stuck in traffic, furious, cursing the cars, the lights, the delay. But ask yourself, will this matter in a week, in a year, or even tomorrow? Almost certainly not. This perspective doesn't minimize the reality of problems. It puts them in proportion. Practical exercise. The next time something unsettles you, pause and ask, will this matter in 5 days, in 5 months, in 5 years? If the answer is no, then don't let it rob you of 5 minutes of peace. Marcus Aurelius also said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." By remembering how fleeting most problems are, you take away their power over you. The things that disturb you today often dissolve tomorrow. Hold on to that thought, and your calm will last much longer than your irritation. Lesson 9. Put order outside to calm what's inside. Your environment speaks to your mind more than you realize. Disorder outside often becomes disorder inside. The Stoics understood that external simplicity helps preserve inner clarity. Seneca, who lived among wealth and politics, warned that excess and clutter are traps that agitate the soul. He practiced moderation not only in possessions, but also in his surroundings. Marcus Aurelius, despite being emperor, valued simplicity in his daily life. He knew that unnecessary luxury or chaos in the external world could disturb the discipline of the mind. Think about it. When your desk is cluttered, your thoughts feel heavier. When your home is disorganized, your stress levels rise. But when things around you are in order, you feel calmer, clearer, and more focused. This is not about perfectionism. It's about creating an environment that supports your peace instead of sabotaging it. Practical exercise. Choose one physical space around you, your desk, your bedroom, your car. Take a few minutes to put it in order. Then notice how your mind reacts. Do you feel lighter, less anxious, more able to focus? This practice becomes symbolic. As you bring order outside, you remind yourself that you also have the power to bring order inside. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." A life full of clutter, noise, and excess creates poverty of spirit. A life of order and simplicity cultivates serenity. When you choose external order, you give your mind the message, "Here, we live with clarity." And little by little, your inner world aligns with that same calm. Lesson 10. Choose your peace as if your life depended on it. Peace is not something you stumble upon. It is a choice, repeated again and again. Every day in every situation you are choosing, do I keep my calm, or do I hand it over to someone else? The Stoics saw inner peace as the highest form of wealth. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." In other words, peace is not taken from you. You give it away when you let external things dominate your inner world. Think of how often we trade peace for trivial things. A rude comment steals an entire day. A minor delay ruins our mood. A small mistake makes us doubt ourselves endlessly. But what if you treated your peace as your most valuable possession? Would you give it away so easily? Seneca said, "No man is free who is a slave to his passions." And the greatest slavery is when every little thing outside determines how you feel inside. Practical exercise. The next time something tries to pull you out of your center, pause and ask, "Is my peace worth losing over this?" If my life truly depended on my calm, what would I choose right now? Because in a way, it does. Your health, your relationships, your decisions, even your longevity, are all shaped by whether you live in constant agitation or steady calm. Choosing peace doesn't mean indifference. It means discipline. It means refusing to be a slave to every impulse, every provocation, every storm. When you guard your peace as if your life depends on it, you discover the truth. A calm mind is not just strength, it is freedom. Calm is not something that life grants you when circumstances are perfect. It is something you train every day, especially when circumstances are not. The Stoics showed us that serenity is not passive, it is an active discipline. It's the decision to pause instead of react, to choose silence over argument, to see every problem as training, to focus on what depends on you, and to let go of what doesn't. Marcus Aurelius, who carried the weight of an empire, practiced calm not because life was easy, but because life was hard. Seneca, who lived under constant danger, cultivated calm not because people around him were peaceful, but because he refused to give them power over his inner world. You now have in your hands 10 practices to train your mind to stay calm in any situation. And remember, you don't need to master them all at once. Just start with one small decision today to guard your peace. With time, calm will stop being something you seek, and it will become something you embody. Because peace is not weakness. Peace is power under control. Now the choice is yours. Don't just let these lessons remain as ideas, turn them into actions. Go to the comments and write, "Today, I choose my peace." By doing so, you make your intention real, visible, and conscious. It's your first step in training. Pick one practice, whether it's silence, reframing your inner dialogue, or treating difficulties as training, and apply it today. Tomorrow, repeat it. Small daily steps create unshakable calm, and if you want to continue this journey of inner strength, subscribe to this channel and activate the notification bell. Each week, you'll receive Stoic lessons to help you live with more clarity, resilience, and serenity. Remember this: the world will not stop testing you, but you can stop giving away your peace. Train your mind, defend your calm. Because in the end, your life will be measured not by the noise around you, but by the calm you keep within.